Welcome to the Diary of Dating Over 50 with Tonya R Lewis, your host. And today, ladies, I have a wonderful man in the city. He came all the way in the city to talk to me. And you know how I do it. We're going to have him introduce himself. Go, Mr. Velvet.
I am Anthony Velvet Hall. I'm an actor. I'm a wrestler. I'm a content creator. That's pretty much it. Those are boxes that have been checked, but there's some more that haven't been checked, and I'm working on those now. So
Okay.
that's just me.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Velvet Hall. All right. But let me congratulate you on formally holding the title of Laurie. Help me out.
Laureato.
Laureato. It's a one pro wrestling Glide Hardcore Championship.
That's correct.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
I had acting for the most part was just something that I had been doing a whole lot of, and I kind of pushed wrestling away for a minute. So when the opportunity came to get back into the wrestling game, I did. I've been doing some things with Laureato for a while, and eventually I worked my way up to a point where I could vie for the vacant hardcore championship in a traditional battle royal in professional wrestling. And so there were about 9 other people in the match. I outlasted all of them, and I walked away the new champion.
Okay. All right. So tell me, what type of wrestling style do you have? Ladies, you know we like to see them get on that ground and get down and dirty. What is your wrestling style?
I really don't have one. I try to be as multifaceted as I can. I do specialize in power moves for the most part. When I first got into the game, I was doing a lot of high flying stuff, but as I grew into wrestling and started lifting more weights and doing more, I got more into the power game. So power is an emphasis, but I like to be as multifaceted as I can.
Now, wait a minute. You say high. I mean, you go up in the air, jump, kick somebody, all that.
Yeah, I've jumped off turnbuckles. I've jumped off steel cages, all kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, my. Now, have you ever been hurt?
Not in the ring. I've been hurt working out more than anything else, but that's about it.
Oh, so you say you hold your own.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. So let's dive into this acting of yours.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've played a detective.
Mm-hmm.
You are now a regular spots on Fatal Attraction.
Correct.
Can you get into depth about that with me?
That was with Fatal Attraction is crime recreation more than anything else. So a lot of times they're always looking for somebody who mirrors the cases that that they're spotlighting or whatever. And it's always a challenge because every case is different. So sometimes, for the most part, I've played the killer. But, yeah.
You was the killer?
Yeah, I played
Okay.
the killer. So I played the killer, and there have been a few times I've played like the detective and the best friend. But for the most part, I'm the killer. I'm the lead on the show. So that's how that goes.
So what made you decide to get into acting?
I actually had a friend of mine that was in wrestling, and he did some extras work. And I asked him how I could get into it. And he pointed me to a website called the Southern Casting Call.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So
I've heard of them.
when I went and I did that, I did a few bit parts, like extra parts and stuff. So I done stuff like The Game and Satisfaction, Survivor's Remorse, and I did Alvin and the Chipmunks movie as security, which was fine. But the thing is, I'm always telling people, yeah, I did this movie, I did that, and they like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch the movie, and they can't find me because I'm an extra.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
somebody once told me, and I hate to say it, I'm not trying to knock extras or anything, but somebody told me once, they said the difference between an extra and a piece of furniture is that furniture doesn't have dreams.
Oh.
Okay,
because I did some background work. I was an extra.
Yeah.
And they even, when they filmed me one time, I was on BMX. I was standing right next to Michi.
Mm-hmm.
They had my bang all stacked up. They had me in this little bitty dress, which I like little bitty dresses, but and I was standing right next to him, and I thought I made this. Hey, that was my 2 seconds of fame. I don't care what you say about some furniture.
Right.
I was kicking it. Okay.
But see, that's the thing about it. I wanted more.
So
I
you
wanted
yeah,
more. I wanted to do more. Like I'm going. Okay, I'm spending 8, 16 hours on set and everything, and then when it comes out, I gotta find myself.
Right.
So I wanted
That's
the
true.
chance to not only be seen, but I really wanted to act and have some lines and some dialogue and really be part of the show. So that's why I started taking like acting classes and being a little more invested in just trying to be a person with a principal role on a movie or a
Yeah.
TV show.
You talked about that today on your post.
Yeah.
You and what do you help people?
A lot of people come to me and they go, okay, well, you got to get me into this Tubi movie. You got to get me into this. You got to get me into that. And it's not that easy. I can connect you with some people, but when you get there, you got to show up.
Right.
So you got to be ready to do the work. So I can't just go, okay, well, look, I'm going to take you and put you in front of this director, because I've done it before for people and said, okay, this person wants to act. And from there, I let that person and the director.
They got to hold their own at that point.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you got to put in the work. You can't just go in there and just think, okay, well, I'm going to do it and that's it. And that's all it is to it. This is a craft that you got to put work in and you got to respect it. And, I hope when you ask me for help, you respect it enough to not just be able to do it, but to be good at it.
Okay. So do you are you doing enough to be able to make a living off of, or do you have to supplement?
I have to supplement.
Okay.
I actually do content creation, and to be honest with you, I make more money from content creation than I do my job.
Okay, let's get it. Let's jump into that content creation. What do you do?
I go to either Backstage or Actors Access, different places, and I answer ads from companies with services or apps or whatever, and they'll say, we need somebody to send us raw footage, or they'll send me a brief, which is a script, and they'll tell me to read it. So when I read it, I send them back all the material, they edit it, and they turn it into a commercial.
So what type of commercials have you been doing?
I've done a commercial for a religious app called Duomo. It's based out of Italy. I have something for another, let's see, there's a supplement called Shilajit that a lot of people have been using from Norwegian Labs. I've done that. I've done something for car seats. As a matter of fact, this bracelet I have is from a content creator called Ziella.
Okay.
And they make a lot of commercials where the guy opens up the box and there's a bracelet in it, and he's like boo-hooing and crying because he got it from like a family member or something, like his wife or his kids. So,
is that the one that had the scripts on it and stuff?
yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Okay.
this is one of 3 bracelets that I have from them. I work for them quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Backstage really works, huh?
It does.
Because
it
they
does.
send me stuff all the time. Not that I've ever signed up for it or anything. I must have did something because they send me stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But it really works. Mm-hmm. So do you have an agent?
I don't. I had an agent, but they did absolutely nothing for me.
No more than it's less than what you're doing for yourself.
When I say nothing, they did nothing.
Nothing for it.
They weren't able. I mean, they got me a couple of auditions, but everything I've attained in acting, I've done myself.
Okay. And you just got back from Knoxville. Tell me about that visit.
That was Knoxville. Like I said, well, full disclosure, I do have an 8-hour job, a 9 to 5. So once I got off of work Monday, I jumped in my truck, drove from Millersville, where I'm from, to Knoxville. That was a
Wait a minute, where Millersville?
Millersville. That's in Baldwin County, Georgia.
Okay.
Yep. So I drove from there to Knoxville. I got into Knoxville about 9 Monday evening. Tuesday, I shot my scenes for Fatal Attraction. It was a 1-day shoot, and then Wednesday I came back home.
Wow. Okay. So your job, like, they work with you?
Yeah, I mean, I get PTO.
Okay.
So I'll put in the PTO in advance, knowing that I'm able to do it. And when I do, I'll apply for these roles, and everything just works out.
Okay. All right. So let's dig into before you got married, because I know you're married now.
Right.
Let's okay, wifey, don't be upset with him, because I'm about to go ask some questions that before he met you. So when you were single, how you been married? You said a couple years.
4 years.
4 years. Okay. Before you got married, were you speed dating, or were you in committed relationships? How did you date?
I wasn't really in a committed relationship before I got married. Years before I actually got married, I was in a long-term relationship with a young lady, and I planned on marrying her.
Okay.
But she had an underlying heart disease, and
wow.
one day she unexpectedly passed.
Wow.
So after that, we're talking about like a 3-year period after she passed. Once she passed away, there was like, I'm not even gonna lie, there were women jumping in my DMs, inboxes, just trying to get at me. I'm talking like weeks and days after we buried her and said our goodbyes. And so it was enticing and stuff like that. But at the same time, I was like, no, I need to just take some time for myself, because a lot of these women don't have my best interests in heart.
Okay.
You know, they always talk about, you know, look out for a wolf in sheep's clothing, because the wolves be hungry, but you got to look out for these thirsty wolves for real, because they're trying to get at you wrong. So when that happened, in that time, I was just taking time for myself, doing more with the wrestling. You know, I had friends, female friends that, you know, I talked to and got with, whatever. And so then eventually it was just like, it got to be too much, because it was like, 1 here, 2 there, 3 there, all that kind of stuff.
Wait a minute, that didn't kind of stroke your ego a little bit?
It did, but at the same time, like and I'm not highly religious, but from a spiritual standpoint, it just didn't feel right.
Okay.
You know,
and maybe because you were in your grieving season too.
Well, yeah,
you know,
that is what happened. But I mean, like, more than anything else, I'm just like, I know a lot of guys that are just like, man, I got women all over the place and all that kind of stuff like that. And from an ego standpoint, yeah, it could have been good, but just like in my heart of hearts, it was just like, I can't give all of myself to a woman if I got a piece of me here, a piece of me there, and a piece of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, every woman that knows me got a piece of me. I can't give all myself to a woman. So what I did, I just kind of pushed back from all that, focused on myself, and eventually, you know, I met my wife.
So you wasn't that type of guy, period, that kind of dated, that had more than one woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you was kind of a one woman's man.
Yeah. Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yep.
That's so hard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was difficult for you to date more than one woman.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so where did you meet your wife at?
My wife's sister and I actually went to college together.
Okay, so it wasn't online.
Nah.
Have you ever did online dating?
No.
You haven't.
Never.
You probably the only black man in America that haven't dated online. No,
I've never dated online. I've never wanted to date online, because I like just being able to know people. Like, even today, when people start talking about dating and everything, like, I got a daughter and she talks to me about, you know, her dating situations and stuff like that. And we had a conversation the other day, and she was just talking to me. She was like, well, I met this guy, or my friend wanted me to meet this guy, and we're just talking through text and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, have y'all had a conversation? Have you heard his voice? She was like, no, I don't like to, you know, converse. And it made me scratch my head. So I'm
right.
Yeah. Because like, to me, in order to kind of see what kind of energy and synergy you have with a person, you have to have some kind of interaction. Right.
You got to at least know if they real, because it could have been some catfishing going on.
Exactly. Yep. So with all that, it was just like me personally, like I said, I've never had a desire to date somebody online, because I'm like, look, you know, this only thing between us is distance.
Yeah.
So if that's what it takes, if I can send you something to set up where we can meet and get to know each other, then that's fine. But as far as the whole online date thing, it's never really interested me. Yeah,
that's the big thing now. You are one of the more fortunate ones, trust me, because online dating is huge now. And I always said that's where I want to meet a guy from a friend from a friend.
Yeah.
But and that doesn't sound like nobody beating my door down. Say, oh, I got a friend I want you to meet. Okay. So tell me, what is so you said your friend, you met your friend's your wife through a friend.
I met my wife. Like I said, me and her sister actually went to school together, and so she knew some people that I knew, and she sent me a friend request. So it wasn't.
Oh, wait a minute. Your wife sent you a friend request. She was in your DM. Huh?
Yeah, she was in my DM.
Okay, all right.
She sent me a friend request. And so I accepted it, and I actually jumped in her DM first, and with the greeting, "Hey, hope all is well," that kind of stuff.
You already knew you was getting ready to push up on her, huh?
Oh yeah.
You was already there.
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, I looked at her. I was like, well, I want to get to know her. And I can't do that through online dating. I can't do that.
You actually hit on her online. I mean, because Facebook is social media. It's online.
Yeah, it was just a greeting.
Yeah.
It was a greeting. It wasn't too forward. It was just introducing myself.
And so what did she do after you?
she answered, she replied, but she and I actually worked out at the same gym. And so what she told me, she was like, when we talked and got to know each other, she was like, I had my eye on you for a while.
Oh, okay, girl.
Yep. So that's how that came.
So
to
she
be.
seen you at the gym.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So she and at that point she locked it down.
Yeah.
Or both of y'all locked it down.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Okay. So your gym. Tell me about your workout regimen. What do you do?
My workout, I'm more focused now on cardio than anything else. When I was wrestling, the biggest I ever been was like 252 pounds, and that was just all muscle. I'm, leg pressing 1,200 pounds and bench pressing 405 pounds and all that, but I wasn't as mobile as I should be. So now that I don't wrestle as much, and now that I'm actually trying to do more acting, I want to find roles where, I'm not huge or anything. Like I can kind of fit anywhere. So my workout regimen, more than anything else, it's pretty much the same as it's been. It's just more of an emphasis on cardio.
Okay. So tell me a story, a memorable moment that you could share from your wrestling or acting career that stands out for you. Something that stands out.
Oh my goodness. Wrestling moment. Okay, so wrestling moment. I had a buddy of mine, Randy Ward, God rest his soul. He put on a show, and he had this flyer that he put out. It was a nice flyer. Okay, we're gonna have 3 wrestling rings at the same time. People wrestling in 3 different rings. We're gonna have a classic car show. We're gonna have an Elvis impersonator, and we're gonna have all these things going on at the same time. We're gonna have jolly jumpers for the kids. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be nice. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm old school, so I was like, okay, let me get some new shoes and nice new fit and everything. So growing up, one of my favorite shoes was the Cortez Classics, what they call Dope Man Nikes. So
is those wrestling shoes that real tight around the ankle?
No. These just regular shoes.
Okay.
These just regular shoes.
Okay.
So I had a blue pair, so I got a white pair. I got a white pair for this day, which is almost criminal for me because I wear a size 14 shoe. So
okay, y'all, he wears size 14.
But
okay.
So I go to this show. When I go to this show, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be nice. We go out, and this show is in a place where they have like rodeos, so there's mud all over the place. And I got on crispy white
gosh.
shoes. I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, half of my shoe is brown and red by the time this show is over with. We get there. The rings are uneven. They're all next to each other. The classic car show is exactly that. A classic car. One car. The Jolly Jumper is almost God knows how far away. And the Elvis impersonator is actually a wrestler. He took off his stuff and wrestled later on that night.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. So,
somebody didn't think all the way through, did they?
Yeah, and the bad part is I'm thinking, okay, well, eventually we got to go somewhere and change our clothes, to put on our wrestling gear. He's got 3 RVs parked next to each other, like really small ones.
For everybody to go in there and change.
Everybody to go in there and change. It's dark. There are no lights in it. So there are people coming out with their underwear on and their wrestling tights on backwards and wearing other people's stuff. And yeah, that was memorable for all the wrong reasons.
Okay. But you know what? I guess somebody had fun. Somebody had to have fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about this small town that you are from.
Millersville, Georgia. This is a town of less than 20,000 people. This is where a lot of my family is, or a lot of my family was. My grandparents were there, aunts, uncles. I still have a lot of family there. We are known infamously for Central State Hospital, which was once an insane asylum that closed down.
Crazy House.
Yeah. Yep. We got ourselves.
That's what y'all know?
Yeah.
Is it still there?
They shut it down, but I think they're remodeling some stuff. There was a whole community of houses behind it where the doctors that worked there lived. I think somebody bought all those houses. Now they're gutting them and trying to turn it into something where people can live or whatever. We are also known for Georgia Military College. which I am an alum of.
Okay.
We
Were you
also-
in the military?
No.
Okay.
I was a civilian junior college student. It actually has a high school attached to it with high school and lower grades, and my son will be a senior there next year, so I'm proud of that. We're also known for Georgia State and Georgia College and State University. College specialized in nursing for a while, and yeah, it's a nice small town, good humble people.
What's the major city that it's close to?
Macon,
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. That ain't too far. Out there by Warner Robins.
right?
Oh, okay. Okay. So if somebody wanted to break into wrestling, what advice would you give them?
Find a respectable trainer, like somebody who has big league experience, and also I would say just be willing to put in the work. Just really be willing to put in the work, because it's not as easy as it looks. Everybody thinks falling and getting up is easy. It's not. It's
Sometimes, I think a lot of it is fake. That's just me. Okay.
yeah, it's scripted, but if it was fake, it wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
That's how I say it, because we've been hit with chairs. We've been thrown to the
Have you
floor.
really been hit with a chair?
Yes. I've been hit across the back with a chair, in the head, I've been slammed and all kind of stuff. And then these are people who are going out here and doing this for 20, 30 minutes at a time, So that's why.
So it's real. Because my dad, my bonus dad used to watch it all the time, and I would look at that stuff and be like, it can't be real.
Yeah.
So what kind of costumes have you?
When I first started, I wore what they wear in amateur wrestling, which is a singlet. It's got straps and it looks like almost biker shorts down here. But as I started working out, I wore just regular wrestling trunks,
Okay.
which is like bikinis. So
Is that right?
Yeah. So I wore those, and when I got back in, I started wearing the ones with the strap again and everything. But yeah, for the most part, I basically just wore a lot of just the bikini shorts, because I had the body back then. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do your wife feel about you wrestling?
she doesn't mind. I was doing it before she met me. So
Okay.
yeah, she doesn't have a problem with it.
Okay. So take us through a day of when you're preparing to go do, like say Fatal Attraction. Take me through a day.
Okay.
How do you prepare for that?
More often than not, I'm already at the hotel, because they reserve a hotel for the actors there. So depending,
They pay
on
for the
time-
hotel too?
Yeah, they pay for the hotel. You just pay for incidentals.
Okay.
You give them a card
For instance, yeah, I'm
Right.
I'm a hotel manager. I'm sure of that. And it
Okay.
takes you about 5 years to get it back. But yeah.
No, tell me about it. But yeah, for me, like this past time when I went, it was I woke up. They have breakfast at like between 6 and 9, so I'll wake up. And what I'll do, I'll go downstairs to the gym and I'll work out for a little bit. Once I'm done with that, I'll walk right down the hallway. That's where the dining hall is. I'll go get my breakfast, sit down, watch a little TV. For the most part, I don't have a bunch of lines, so I'm just in a calm place, trying to just really calm my nerves and everything. Because when you're acting, anything can happen.
Yes.
You got to be very fluid. So versatile for the most part. So I'm just trying to calm down. After I do that, basically, jump in the shower, do everything I need to do, make sure, my hair and clothes and all that kind of stuff is where it needs to be, my wardrobe. Go to set, wherever that may be. It may be close, it may be far. I've had to drive 5 minutes from the hotel or 30 minutes from the hotel, but I make sure I get there on time.
Okay.
That's it. Punctuality is key for anybody who wants to be in acting. Punctuality is key.
It's everything, yeah.
I've always been told, if you're early, you're on time.
Yeah.
If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah.
If you're late, you're fired.
So who have you acted with? Some
Quite a few people, especially in the Atlanta area. Let's see. Harold Outley, that you saw recently. I haven't had a chance to really work with him, but I would love to. That's like my brother right there.
Yeah. I had some women in my inbox about Harold.
Yeah. Harold, I know a bunch of people, so let's see.
What about some well-known celebrities?
I've yet to work with any well-known celebrities yet.
Okay.
And I say yet because I think that's in the making.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
you got to
just-
put it in the
Yeah,
atmosphere.
it's an atmosphere, but
Okay.
there's also some stuff I can't really talk about. So.
Oh, you got some stuff on the table that you can't. Yeah, because they hush you up. You know,
Right.
even when you're doing extra or background work, you're not allowed to really talk about it until the movie comes out.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So I'm aware of that. But
Yeah.
yeah. Well, who would you like to work with?
Oh man. Wow. I would love to work first and foremost with my acting crush, who is Gina Torres.
I said your acting crush.
Yes, my acting crush, Gina Torres. I would like to work with her. I definitely want to work with any actor, any big name actor that I can learn something from. Because this is a journey. It's not like a situation where it's just like, okay, I'm acting, I've made it, but there's so many wrinkles to the craft, you know, and people that have been places you've never been. So I just want to learn something and act with somebody that can show me something. And I definitely want to complete the circle, because there may be a time where there's a young actor that wants to learn, and I can show them that. You know, each one teach one. So
Would you like to work with Tyler Perry?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to work with Tyler.
Have you sent him anything?
I have.
You have.
I've sent them some stuff.
I say you got to keep on sending it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't stop.
Yep, that's why the headshots get updated. That's why the resume gets updated. That's why I'm always out there looking for different things. I've worked with Travis Cure from Tyler Perry's The Oval.
Yes.
He and I did some stuff together
Yes.
years ago. And I just saw him last year at the Peachtree Film Festival. So I've worked with him, and yeah, I'm a sponge.
How would you sell yourself as an actor?
I would sell my physicality more than anything else. Being a wrestler, I do have stunt work.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How's your stunt work?
Yeah, I've done stunt work. I like to do more stunt work. I have moderate martial arts experience. I've trained in Muay Thai and Taekwondo as well. Somebody who is, you know, I'll never be rigid in any situation. Like I said, I want to learn. I want to contribute more than anything else. And I'm a team player.
Okay. Sound like you got a resume going on.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're in an interview.
Yeah.
I guess we are in some sort of way. Okay. Tell me something funny about you. I mean, something that people don't know.
Oh man, I think people know everything there is to know about me. I have no idea what I could possibly say.
Well, just tell me, how did you grow up? How did
I grew up. I'm not originally from Georgia. I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up in Newark until I was about 15. Did a lot of, you know, I tried to do the right thing a lot of times, but you know, when teenagers are getting into that age, they want to
Yeah, give me some dirt on you, because you look like a choir boy to me right now. I need some dirt.
The only thing, the worst thing that's probably happened to me, and I was, you know, a lot of my friends, like I said, they went into, you know, selling drugs, stealing cars, and all that kind of stuff. I tried to steer clear of all that.
So you didn't steal no cars, you didn't sell no dope.
Didn't have to.
Okay.
Didn't have to. A lot of times in those situations, people think, okay, that's the cool thing to do. But I grew up around a lot of people who, you know, mothers couldn't find jobs, fathers were out of the picture. So this was something that they had to do.
Right.
They felt they had to do. I didn't have to do that because, you know, I had two amazing parents.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
I had two amazing parents. When I was living up there, let's see, I can remember one time I was in ninth grade, I was leaving high school, I was trying to catch the bus, and all of a sudden, I started walking and everything went black. And when I woke up, I was on the ground.
Did you get jumped on?
Yeah, I got jumped. I got mugged by like 10 people for $1 and change.
Oh my.
Yep.
And they beat you pretty bad.
I still have a little scar on the side of my mouth from that right there, where I had stitches and had to have plastic surgery. But I'm still here.
So were your parents still together, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So you was raised sort of in a healthy household. Okay. Okay. So you didn't. So how do you maneuver through this Atlanta? Because it can be cutthroat here sometimes.
Yeah, I just
you're a nice choir boy.
for the most part, I just with the way I move, I'm kind of like ready for anything. So I know people that come up here and they're like, you know, super scared and all that kind of stuff. But anything that can happen will happen. And I've seen a lot, and I'm pretty sure, God willing, I get to see a lot more. So I never go into a situation just, thinking I've seen it all. I'm just ready for whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So what's in the horizon for you?
Hopefully that Tyler Perry film, that Tyler Perry series, that's what I'm looking for. More content creation. I want to do that. A lot of people are talking about AI. I've got quite a few AI commercials out where I've submitted raw video and it's been manipulated to, sell products. I actually want to get into the business end of that where I own my own AI firm.
Okay.
So I can learn how to do that. And just more acting, more growing. I want to be the best I can be, whatever that is.
Okay, so with this AI, because a lot of it is not true.
Yeah.
And not a lot of it is manipulation. So how would you go about? I mean, for content, I like contents like this. I want you to get the real me. I don't want to put no fake stuff because I can give you what you need. Okay,
Right.
just period. You want me to be this way, I can be this way or that way. But AI is taking all that authenticity away. But like I'm in this beautiful Scottsdale podcast cafe. And I could come in here and I could find any corner in here and I can do some contents. Now, if I got some blemishes or something showing, I'll clear that up. But the real stuff, we are really getting away from that.
Right.
So what would you do? Will you do more of AI or will you do more of the real person sitting in front of you showing contents?
I would do an equal amount of both,
Okay.
depending on what I'm trying to advertise. I went to school. I got a bachelor's degree in sales and marketing, so I know about.
Do
marketing.
you?
Yeah. So I know about the marketing game, but with AI, where the problem comes in is that you're dealing with a lot of products that don't do what they say.
Absolutely.
So what I want to do is, if I'm going to do AI with anybody, I want to screen every product that, I put my face, my name, my image, my likeness on, because
Is that what you do now when you get these products?
No, I don't. No. When I do the one where I'm actually talking and it's me, then I actually will do that. But when you're talking about AI, what happens is
Mostly it's just your physicality that you're using.
Yeah, because I submit raw videos.
Okay.
And so they want me to do raw videos in certain situations.
Okay,
So
tell me, you saying raw videos. What are you doing in these raw videos?
in raw videos, what they require me to do is just talk about whatever they want me to talk about in 2 minutes. It doesn't have to have anything to do with any product. They just want to see me running my mouth. So
And they change your verbiage once they put it out.
Right, exactly. So
Wow.
sometimes what they do, they'll say, well, we want to see you holding a camera and walking around. We want to see you holding a cup of coffee. We want to see you in the kitchen. We want to see you spinning around in a chair. All these things. As long as they have my face in a place where they can manipulate
it.
my mouth moves and then add a script with my, with their voice and everything, you can pretty much market anything.
Thank God the Scottsdale podcast cafe is real. We're really sitting here, y'all.
Yep. This is authentic.
So they just do wow. So they tricking people.
They are, but one thing I will do now, if there's ever a point where I see my name and likeness on something that I don't agree with, then I'll let them know, because I signed a contract release, and in that contract it says we won't market sexually explicit this and just a list of things they don't do. Now I did have one AI commercial that had my likeness, and I had to get them pulled it off.
What was wrong with it?
It was like one, they got my age wrong.
Okay.
The second thing was
Wait a minute, but I mean, was it older or younger?
It was older.
Okay.
It was older. So they got my age wrong. It was for a supplement that,
It was for erectile.
No.
No.
I ain't gonna even do that, because if I did that,
Why not? But I mean, but it's what the thing of it is, it shows that men that has a problem with it, because at a certain age you're doing a commercial. You're not saying that my thing won't rise.
Right,
You're
exactly.
saying that if your thing don't rise, this is what you can do.
Right,
So you
exactly.
wouldn't do erectile.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't. I need something. Well, the thing is,
I would
they-
do.
'cause-
I'm menopausal and I can't, and I don't like to have sex, but that'd be a lie, cause baby, I like it.
well, see,
Okay.
well, they take the raw video and they'll put it with whatever. But
Okay.
this one here I'm talking about, they had 2 images of me. One where I was like 300 and something pounds. They took my face and put it on this
On
big
this
body.
real-
Yeah, this big body. And like I had one of my classmates send me something. It was like, man, I didn't know you was that big. I said, shit, me neither.
Uh-huh.
So then I got another.
Is that one of your criteria? Not to implement? I mean, not to change your body size?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So they changed my body size to a bigger person. Then they changed it to a smaller person. And I don't have a problem with it being a smaller person, but neither person was me.
Okay.
So when that happened, I called the people. And the company that I work for and do this for, they're based out of France.
They are.
Yeah.
They're not even in the United States.
They're based out of France.
So that means, for instance, they might be a little advanced than we are in AI. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
Yep.
go ahead.
So I called them and I told them, I said, you got to pull this. Because usually they give you like, I think a month to 2 month time to request that the content gets pulled. So as soon as I saw it, I don't know how long it had been out there, but I told them, get that off of there. That ain't me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't. So the agreement come across, and you both put your what you agree on.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
like I don't want this or they want this, but they will manipulate you into. Wow. I'm learning something right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
AI is something.
it is.
You know, it's just I can imagine that when my grandson is in his 30s, nothing might be real at that point.
Right.
You know, I like real people. I like people with real issues. You
Right.
know, I like to sit and talk to someone that may have erectile dysfunction, because men don't want to talk about that.
Right.
And if I can get somebody to talk about that, because it's real, somebody out there may learn something from it.
Right.
But you got this AI over here talking about, oh no, we don't never have no problem. You take this and you will be, and it don't even help.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's how you got into the AI.
And that came from backstage, actually.
Did it?
That was a thing from backstage where they wanted me to do 3 videos. From that, I went from dealing with backstage to dealing with the company directly.
Oh, so the company did a roundabout. They
Yeah.
said they knocked backstage out the middleman.
Yeah, they did, and like I
How
just
much? Can you tell me just a roundabout figure? How much they pay for that?
for the most part, like I do videos, and I might get like a $2,500 check.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I need to go do a video. I need a couple $2,500 hits right now.
Yeah,
So they just send you when they done. They just send you a check.
yeah, and I mean it's quick too. There's no turnaround. Like I also do content creation with Fiverr.
Who?
Fiverr.
Okay.
Fiverr is like a community where people, do a lot of different stuff. They sell their own products, like digital products. And so I'll do stuff with them. But the thing is, they hold your money for like 2 weeks. With this company here, once you do it, once he finds out what's what, you can get your money in as little as 3 days.
So do you have to have any acting experience to do this content?
No.
I need their number.
Yeah.
Because just imagine me being able to do content and I'm right here. I can sit out. We have a fireplace outside, y'all. I can sit out in front of the fireplace and talk about, whatever. Only thing I couldn't do was drink, but I could act like I had something to drink. AI could make me look like I'm drinking.
Right.
But wow. So with that, you've been able to get more and more jobs of that.
I've got jobs I have to do. I would be willing to say I have about 3 jobs waiting on me now to do.
Oh.
3 different jobs that are waiting on me. I'm a big believer in building reputations with people as far as like businesses go. I believe in quality, and reputation as well, and punctuality too. So as long as I'm able to give you a good product, deliver it on time, then hopefully I can build a reputation or a relationship with a person to the point where we're just having direct contact. If you ever need anything, you can say, okay, well, I need this. So, I'll send this to you and you give me the product And I truly believe in under promising and over delivering. So
Okay,
if I
absolutely.
tell you I can have something in 5 days, I'm gonna try to get it to you in 3.
So wait a minute. So say they give you something. Okay, they give you a product. How do you go about from the beginning to the end?
From the beginning, I'll read the brief and I'll find out everything that's required. It's just like a script. That's basically all it is. I have to find out what they want me to wear, where they want me to shoot it, because sometimes it may be behind a green or blue screen. Other times it may be in a corner of the house. It may be outside. So once I find that, I get those things done, and then I go up and down the script. I hit all the bullet points that they want me to do. From there, they have different ways they want to deliver it. Some people want to deliver it through Google Drive. Some people want to deliver it through WeTransfer.
Okay.
But I get all that stuff and I send it to them. Once I do, I notify them that it's been sent. From there, some people will review it. Some people are just like, we know you good. Here's your money.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to get that number. So we have a membership here with about about 6 to 8 of us at the Scottsdale Podcast Cafe, and we can do content. So we could pay the bills around here.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking around.
I know you come in here and get some stuff done, can't you?
Like from what I've seen back there, and especially up there on the patio and everything. Yeah, just different settings. Is money just waiting to be made here.
Would you come here and shoot?
Absolutely.
Okay. I got a contract for you at the end of this.
Okay.
We definitely could do some collaboration. Absolutely.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because we're new. Like I said, we have our grand opening on next Saturday from 2 to 6. Y'all got to come on out. I know y'all gonna see this on Sunday. So, but next Saturday, and we would invite you wholeheartedly to come shoot yours here. Help us get some jobs. That would be great. I believe in collaboration.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Content creation is a lot of things are misunderstood about it, but it's so easy. It's like, to be honest with you, it's the easiest money I've ever made.
Oh my!
It is.
I like easy money.
Me too. from getting a $50 tripod at Walmart to just having a phone to knowing the perspective and ratio requirements when you shoot. It's so easy once you start.
Well, we have a bad production team here, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. All I want to do is get in front of the camera and do what I do, run my mouth.
Oh, you always do that. We already know. Come on.
So you just, it's amazing how you can do products like that now.
Yeah.
And a lot of us here, we have podcasts, and we have to hold down full-time jobs to be able to have those podcasts, and we need money.
Right.
We need to be it so we can keep this thing going. Yeah. So you sharing that so freely, because you're sharing it so freely, is amazing, because most people want to hold back and not give you and tell you stuff like that.
Right. It's enough. I mean, the world is big enough, and there's a lot of stuff in this world for all of us to get a piece.
Absolutely.
Like, you can't hold on to all this.
Absolutely.
It's just greedy. It's just, I personally, I believe in completing the cycle, like seriously, because somebody had to show me.
Who showed you?
What, just as far as the content creation?
Yeah, how you got started with that?
Well, actually, nobody showed me. I just took the opportunity to learn how to do it, and I made some mistakes along the way, and I learned from those mistakes. So I've done the hard work to the point where now, if somebody wants me to show them how to do it, I can say, okay, do this. And they skip all that.
Yeah, and I've been in front of the camera pretty much a while now. I mean, with my modeling and then doing this right here. So I'm not afraid. Actually, I love the camera, and it loves me. But I wouldn't be a hard person to teach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with all of that, who am I? Who am I looking at right now? Anthony Velvet. Is Velvet your real?
No.
You put that in there? You slid that in there?
My wrestling name was Velvet Jones.
Velvet Jones.
Yeah.
Why Velvet? Are you smooth like velvet?
That I am.
Okay.
But also, what I did from a production standpoint, when I first started wrestling, everybody's wrestling in trunks and tights and all that kind of stuff. So everybody kind of looks the same.
No, you didn't come out with some velvet on.
Some.
Oh, wait.
I came out with all velvet.
Why you ain't sent me some of them pictures?
I know. I'll send them, but this is what I did. I wanted to make sure that I grabbed everybody's attention from the time I walked out of the curtain to the time I came back through the curtain. So what I did, my character when I first started was a pimp.
You was a pimp. Is that how with Velvet?
I was a pimp.
Because you know Velvet show a different type of print.
Velvet suit on.
Oh my God!
It's a purple velvet suit with zebra print collar and zebra print bell bottoms with a big pimp hat made out of zebra print.
Oh my!
With a feather on it. And so around the time that I did this, pimp culture was really starting to come back into hip hop for the most part. So it was like an easy thing for me to do. So I had the pimp cup and all that kind of stuff. And this one I was just like a manager at first, and I started doing the wrestling thing. So when I came out, you know, I captured your attention the minute you saw me.
Yes,
and then,
yes.
And then, you know, I got down to my wrestling trunks and all that kind of stuff and everything. But I wanted to make sure you had your eyes on me.
So when you got down to your trunks, they were velvet.
No, my trunks were just regular trunks.
Oh, okay.
They were regular trunks. But I had the zebra print was still in there. I found a wrestler that passed away years ago by the name of Adrian Street, and he made his own wrestling gear. And a lot of his gear was on eBay. And so with eBay, he would sell his gear for like $65 for the trunks and everything, but you could bid on it for like less than half.
Right.
And I would be the only person bidding on those trunks. So I would just win a bunch of trunks. I still got a ton of my wrestling stuff at home, like a bunch of my wrestling trunks. But that's what I had. I had the zebra print, and I had color and everything. I wore the wrestling boots. You know, yeah, I was.
You know, but your personality, because you got the smooth little choir boy personality, and to come out with a pimp and having Huggy Bear mad at you because you done stole his style. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, that was my whole thing. So when I came out the curtain, I turned it on.
Okay.
I turned it on because it's all about the show.
It is. It really is. So tell me, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself in your wrestling career somewhere? Because I know you pushing toward acting, but do you see yourself somewhere in your wrestling career moving it forward, putting more energy into it?
I would say no.
No,
honestly, I would.
You got kind of done with that.
Yeah, I'll come in when people need me to do stuff, and I'll contribute to a show. But there was a time when I was wrestling every weekend. Like I, had the 9-to-5 job, and because my job back then, I was working in the office. I was working doing administrative stuff, working as a master scheduler for different places and everything. So I sat down for like 40 hours a day.
Okay.
40 hours a week. I jump in my car, I go to different places all around the South and wrestle for different people and everything. And I did that for a long time. The drawback from that for me was investing so much into my diet, my exercise, and going to these different places only to have a booker look at me and go, "You're the best looking person in the locker room. Go in there and make my best friend look like $1 million and not give me a chance." So
they would want you to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And pay you to lose.
It would pay. I'd get paid
because
really
of
nice.
your build and because of the way you look. You look like you could go in there and crush them.
Right.
Which you probably could have. But they wanted you to go in there and lose.
Right.
And make them look good. Losing.
Yep. And so when that happens, I lost a lot of interest. And I'm thinking, and that's part of the thing that really almost kind of spurned some of my content creation, because I'm like, I'm putting all this energy into somebody else's dream, and mine ain't even got off the ground yet. So, let me put more into what I'm doing. And acting is what I really want to do, because I feel like I don't have a whole lot of restraints with acting depending on the role. So I see myself doing more acting like I'm doing now than I am doing wrestling. Okay.
Well, that is really that's really sad to hear about the acting part. I mean the wrestling part. To not even give you the opportunity to go in there and show what you were all about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
from there you create your own opportunities.
Yeah. And you are creating your own opportunities. So if you had to look in a young man's face and tell them, summarize your life for them, starting from your beginning of your dream, where you when you were a young kid, to now, what would you tell them?
Same thing I tell everybody. You've been blessed with 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Do twice as much listening as you do talking. That's all I can tell them.
That was quick and simple. I thought you was gonna elaborate on it.
No, I mean, like, life, the things in life can make it complicated. But for the most part, life is very simple. You know, it's very simple. It's very simple. You know, treat people like you want to be treated.
Well, it's not so simple, especially for the young folks, because I don't think I would want to be young and the peer pressure that they have.
Yeah, that's true.
Know, it's a lot of pressure to be young. You know, I would tell a young lady myself, you know, don't get caught up in the Joneses. Don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing.
Right.
Find what you are good at, focus on that, and push, and don't let. See, even with me now, I'm a part of an agency of a group of ladies, a group of models that are over 40, and it's a lot going on in those groups. And other podcasts has jumped up. I also have another. He manages Young Jock. He does a lot of his scheduling for his show. And he was telling me the first thing when I first came out with my podcast, he said, Tonya, there's a lot of podcasts out here. There's going to be a lot that's going to come up. He said, but only the ones that are focused, stay in their lane, is going to be the ones who succeed. It's just as many that start up going to drop off. You know, and me being in the short time that I've been doing this, I've had some amazing guests, and I thank God for that, because it helps, because I'm up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning in folks' DM. Right. That helps, but also is because when someone tell me no, I always say there's a yes around the corner. Right. So I have to keep pushing so I can get that yes.
Absolutely.
You know, how did you feel when you first got that first yes to be in front of somebody's camera?
I just wanted to do the best I could and learn as much as I could, because I was thinking from this opportunity can come another opportunity. Yes. So I got to make the best of it on all levels. Yes. That was my thing. And I still treat every opportunity the same way.
You have to, because you can't subtract from it. Yeah. You got to give it your very best, your all. And that's what I do. Even when I'm not in the biggest, because I model. When I'm not even in the biggest fashion show, I still give them my all. Right. Even when I'm sitting here and week before last, I had this fine young man that I had to go cool off after I got done. And I got a fine young man coming up. But and then I have someone like you, just mellow, you know, in your own zone. You know, I still have to give you my absolute best. Right. And I have to show you and highlight you the best that I can. You know, you are a laid back type of person. You know what I'm saying? And you're easy to talk to. You know, and you don't have a lot of fluff in your life like some of my guests have. But I still want to highlight you the best I can. Right. You know, so with that being said, highlight yourself.
And I'm trying to. When you say highlight, specifically, what do you
highlight yourself? If I didn't know you, or you're gonna have so many different people look at this YouTube, how would you highlight yourself for them? Summarize yourself. Give me a summary. Give me a summary of yourself, and then tell social media where can they find you at.
Summary of myself. Once again, Anthony Velvet Hall, championship professional wrestler, award-winning actor. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a scholar. You know, and like I said, all those are check boxes I've checked, but I'm still trying to check some more. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, Mr. Anthony Velvet Hall.
Fitness enthusiast as well. Okay. You know, that's what I do. I love to work out, so that's my thing. Okay. Yeah. And you mentioned the agency that you were part of. Shout out to Tina B.
Okay. Okay, you know Tina B.
I love me some Tina B. Shout out to Tina B.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's that's our boss lady. She really has taught me a lot, and I probably wouldn't be at this platform right now this soon, because the platform was already out here for me, but I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for joining her ages.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, with closing thoughts from me, what an incredible conversation we've had today with Anthony Velvet Hall. It's been a pleasure to dive into your multifaceted life and the talented individual. From holding the Laureato, I mess that up every time, y'all. Laureato, one professional wrestling guild hardcore champion, to showcasing his acting and process. Anthony embodies strength, charisma, and passion. His insight on balancing the world of wrestling and acting, along with his experience in love and relationship, remind us that life is an ongoing journey of growth and discovery, no matter your age. Thank you, Anthony, for sharing your story and inspiring our listeners. We can't wait to see where your journey takes you next, both in the ring or on the screen. For our audience, be sure to follow Anthony on his social media. You didn't tell us that, but we'll have that in the end of the program.
Okay.
And catch all his latest adventures. Until next time. Okay, guys. Thank you for another episode. Y'all know who I am. I'm Tonya R Lewis with the Diary of Dating Over 50. And I have a new home, y'all. Y'all been commenting on my new home. I am at the Scottdale Podcast Cafe. Our grand opening is next Saturday. You got to come out. It's going to be some amazing networking. The information will definitely be in my YouTube. It will be on Facebook. It will be on Instagram and TikTok. Come out. Check us out. We're going to have some specials for you. You can come out here and do all kind of stuff. Private podcasts. You can do music podcasts. You can sit in front of the fireplace podcast. And we're going to be doing more content, because I'm going to dig in Anthony's head and find out how that goes. Okay. Y'all know I'm an advocate for human sex trafficking. We're having an event in Cleveland, Ohio, June 28th at 7 p.m. at Club Jazzy's. We're raising money to give money to two amazing groups that is going to help our children out there that are being trafficked in plain sight or taken off the streets. We're not talking about it enough. I need you guys to come out and support. Again, my name is Tonya R Lewis. Oh, and we just added up under the umbrella, the Diary of Life. So those people that say, I'm not single, I don't know if I could be on your show. The Diary of Life is when life start lifing with Tonya R Lewis. That's going to be under the umbrella as well. I love you guys. Until another episode. I'll see you next time.